Hello, and welcome back to the Coop De Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher, Tommy Lazaridis, and Aman Pillay to talk about all preseason talk, all the news, transfer news, and everything that's going off in the stateside with the Villa's preseason trip of the United States. We'll be talking about the Newcastle game. We'll be talking about Walsall. We'll be talking about Musa Diaby, Pau Torres, and much, much more. And that's all coming up after this. Okay, so yes, welcome back to our Coop De Villa channel on season 23-24. We'll be coming at you regularly, weekly, like we always do. We had a good break over the English summer, and we're really looking forward to getting back into it. So thanks for your support. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Hit the bell. It'll tell you whenever we drop a video. And of course, we've got a big year coming up. We got Europa Conference League action as well that we're going to be covering. So there's going to be plenty of videos. So get on the socials. Follow us on all your socials, and make sure you don't miss a video. And guys, the big news since our last video is, I guess, the two big signings. We didn't touch on the Pau Torres because that hadn't happened yet, and now Musa Diaby. And I'll go to you first, Aman, as you haven't been on for a while. What do you think of the business Villa have done in this transfer window, and do you expect any more coming in after this?
I think 100% we need more, and I do expect it to happen. Don't know if anyone watched the game this morning or last night, depending on where you're viewing from, but we need a backup goalkeeper, 100%. Often, just not up to what we need with, hopefully extended Conference League tournament, and wanting to go far in cup tournaments. We probably really need a second choice keeper. That's probably should be a first choice at another team. But really, really happy with the signings we made. Pau Torres, one of the better centre-backs in La Liga and probably world football, be up there. And Diaby, who, to be honest, I don't know much about. Seen obviously all the YouTube compilations and everything like that. Looks good. But just get statement of intent, beating Saudi Arabia to his signing. And I'm happy with the progress we've made so far. Being linked with names like Chiesa, who we're probably not going to get now, but just shows the names that we're going after.
Yes, that's right. We've had a few names going around in this window, Tommy. We had Asensio was talked about for a while. That he ended up going to PSG. There's Harvey Barnes was linked as well, but he's at Newcastle now. Played against us earlier on this morning, Australian time, and but I think Pau Torres and Diaby are very kind of Unai Emery sort of players. If you can, Pau Torres obviously played with him before at Villarreal, and he's a left-footed centre back, which brings questions into what's happening with Mings going forward. But Diaby as well, he's like a Leon Bailey 2.0, really a similar type of player, but maybe with a bit more end product. What do you feel about those two big signings?
I think Bailey's having nightmares about Diaby right now, because I think he was brought into Leverkusen to replace him there, and now it's almost deja vu. And I mean, it's nice to know that we've got money. I think we beat El Falafel to the signing of Bailey, so I don't know what they're called, but anyway, everyone seems to be going there. So Pau Torres was linked to Bayern Munich, so I think the fact that we snubbed him from then under their noses is this statement of intent. And the squad's looking good. I mean, Tielemans, I think, was a gem. He looked really good when he came on, and I do think we probably need a better right back than Cash, and I know I might get some hate, but I think there's a lot better right backs that we could be looking at. I think when we first signed him, there was a lot of positivity, him driving forward, and I don't know, I think he's become somewhat complacent now. And I mean, it's a different system; everyone needs time to gel. But Moreno just slots straight in, and he came straight in from La Liga, so I think Cash has had more than enough time. And I think we do need a lethal forward. I love Ollie. I've said this, but I think we need just a clinical forward when he gets the ball. Our opposition teams are scared. I'm a bit upset that we probably didn't bring in Nicholas Jackson, because he looks like a real threat for Chelsea now. And I think 30 million could have been a gem. But I think I'm seeing a lot of rumours circulating that Duran's going to feature. So I think we'll see how he goes in the Emery system. We've got a lot of good youth, right? Archer, I think everyone's been saying he deserves a chance. So it's really his platform now to step up and prove himself. I think he's only got a month or two to do so. But I do foresee a couple signings coming. I still think there's another big name. I don't know what position, but I don't think we're anywhere near done.
Yeah, well, I think you're right about those two positions probably being the two question marks, the right back and the centre forward, as to if we were going to bring anyone else in. But, Noah, the midfield is looking absolutely stacked at the moment. It's looking so good. I really agree with what Tommy said about Tielemans. When I saw him just this morning, I was like, yes, he's exactly what we need. Calm head, looks like a leader, looks like he's almost like the coach on the field at times. Like even in that small, just half an hour that he played, it was great. And, you can't take too much out of these preseason games, but how do you feel about the signings, Noah? What are you excited for? And is there anyone else you would like to see come in? Any positions?
Well, first of all, happy to be back, Scott. Season 3, 95 episodes now of the Coop De Villa podcast. So thanks to everyone that's been here from the start. I know Coxie is definitely one of those people that have been here from episode 1.
Yes.
The man. Onto the season, though, you're talking about how Tyrone Mings might fit in the back line. Villa are going to have a lot more football to play this year. And if we can have 2 quality centre-backs that can play, each of the games, doesn't matter. That's kind of what we need. And I don't think his spot's in jeopardy at all. I think we've got more games. We need more squad depth. I'm looking in the midfield. Look what we've got in the midfield now. We've got so much depth in this midfield. It's crazy. I don't see our midfield being weak at any point during any game we play. Because even if you're playing FA Cup games, who's going to miss out? Who is generally going to miss out of this midfield? Someone has to miss out.
I think it's rotation. I think it's rotation. I'm not going by fantasy prem, but everyone says always avoid a Man City centre back, even if it's the likes of Diaz, right? You just never know what Pep's capable of.
That's what I mean. So these are good things to have. Obviously, the one position we are lacking is a rotation / competition for Matty Cash. He kind of had that spot locked down, but also for Ollie Watkins. If Archer's not quite up to it, which I hope he is, and he looks like he's built up a bit of muscle during the off season and got a bit of a tan on, same with all the other players. But could he be the guy? I really hope he is, but time will tell.
Well, that's it. And we talk about sort of players who were maybe on the fringes last season, needed to maybe step up a little bit. Buendia was one that it was maybe a bit inconsistent, had good games, and then, scored goals here and there, but then also had games where he went missing, Aman. And I think that we've seen a bit of that in preseason as well. Like against Warsaw, Buendia was awful. I only saw the extended highlights, but from everything I was reading and seeing, people were really getting frustrated with what he was doing. And then plays against Newcastle this morning and gets 2 goals and is man of the match. So, there's players like him. Where's he going to fit? Duran, we talked about. So, if you were going to sort of, map out maybe our best midfield or our best 11, how would you see it from what you've seen in these early stages?
Just firstly on the Buendia point, I don't know. Preseason game 1 against Warsaw, everyone looked flat. Sorry, don't know how much you can
and fat. To be honest,
one leads to the other.
So don't really know how much you can look into it. Obviously, a few more weeks on the track now between now and then, and Buendia put in a good performance. I think with outgoings, it really should only be the really fringe players and the really shit players like Robin Olsen that should be sold on. Even someone like Dendoncker, I think he has a place in the squad, 100% in Europe. I saw this morning John Townley said that Sanson's immediately going to be sold or something like that.
I did see that.
Someone's come in for him. In terms of our best midfield, I guess you can't. Even though Tielemans had a good performance this morning, probably can't replace Louise and Kamara at the base of the midfield yet.
Or McGinn.
McGinn last year played some good games coming off that right-hand side of midfield. But I think on the back end of the season, he's actually playing his best football in behind Watkins at the moment. So I think that's you'll be your midfield central 3. And then I would say Diaby and Buendia probably on either side at the moment, just because Ramsey's probably going to be injured and maybe a couple of games to start with. But yeah, I think that will probably be, on paper be our midfield unless we, do bring in someone else or something for that left hand side. Or even if Diaby plays on the left and someone else on the right.
You could always play McGinn on one of those front three positions, and then you can bring Tillemans in straight away. There is so many options. I agree with you, and I agree with you that I think the guys from last year will get first crack at the whip. And I actually think that'll probably happen at the back as well. I could see Pau Torres and Diego Carlos maybe sitting on the bench for a first couple of games, and Konza and Mings continuing to start to see how they go for a while. And then, maybe later on in the season, we'll see more of a rotation. But it's really exciting. We got so many options now, but like Noah was saying before, plenty of games, plenty of opportunities for everyone. And I agree with you totally. We need the numbers, and I wouldn't be getting rid of anyone really. I mean, maybe someone like Robert Olsen, who, I don't know, hasn't performed at all. But, the young kids, I wouldn't be sending Aaron Ramsey on loan. I wouldn't be sending Archer on loan. I wouldn't be sending, some of these young kids that have come in, like Kellyman played really well when he was on the pitch against Newcastle this morning. We had O'Reilly played really well against Warsaw. Feeney had a bit of a terrible game against Walsall, made a horrible error. But these kids, looking really good. Revan this morning I thought was really good. So yeah,
Ben Apes as well had a really good game. I think he'll stay around.
Yeah,
especially for the first half of the season, and then mainly might get loaned out maybe come January or very, very close to the window shutting, because I don't think the window shuts when the season starts, right?
It's after August.
September.
Yeah. September 1 is
there. So he could get a run of games to actually see how he goes, like in competitive fixtures. But yeah, I think, like you said, I like John Duran. I saw some Benteke highlights the other week on Instagram, and Duran, he's 20 years old or whatever it is, and he's still he's an absolute unit. He just reminds me of Benteke in terms of physical stature, and hopefully, he's one that I want to see do well. If he does get loaned out, he gets loaned out, but I think he's been on extended holiday or something like that. I think someone said that's why he hasn't.
Well, considering we've only got really 3 centre forwards in the whole squad with him, Duran, Archer, and Watkins, I couldn't see a situation where we send Archer or Watkins on loan with all these Europa League, Conference League matches that we're hopefully going to play and have a long run in that competition. I think we need to keep these guys around. Tommy, is there any other youngsters that you're looking forward to seeing a bit more of this year?
I think Philogene Bidace, he looks like such a menace, both feet, pinging them, strong, looking good. And yeah, I was not expecting him to be that lethal when he came on. I think we're not factoring in that. I think we fielded a much younger side second half than Newcastle did. I mean, their squad's a lot deeper than ours, and we're just throwing our kids. And if we didn't hand them that goal on the plate from Olsen, right? Thanks, buddy. But I think probably should have won. And I know it's preseason, but it's different for them to kind of field their B squad, and we're kind of fielding a bunch of kids. But I think the kids were up for it. We've seen this in the past. We've got some great prospects, and I think this is a real opportunity for a lot of them to step up. Emery's willing to give everyone a chance. I know he'd like to back in his youngsters, doesn't necessarily bring in a lot of old heads. But look, I think it was mainly Kellerman and Bidace that really impressed me. I think Archer could have done a little bit better, especially now he's probably the one on the fringe of potentially earning a starting spot.
Well, he came back a week later than everyone else.
I know. Yeah, he had a delayed break.
Yeah, because he won the European Under-21 Championship. So congrats to him. We haven't spoken since that happened. And Jacob Ramsey, unfortunately, got injured during the tournament, but he played well in the group stages and, was a big part of that squad as well. So congratulations to both of them on their success.
I was going to say, I know it's a bit of a segue, but I probably just want to wish Marvellous Nakambra all the best at Luton Town. Good to see him playing regular football. I think he struggled to break into the lineup at Villa ever since returning from injury, but I think he was probably one of our better players pre-injury. We're probably going to lose half of our African supporters and half of all of our supporters right now. He had a big contingency, and wish him all the best at Luton. Also seeing that Louise is rumoured to There's rumours linking Luis with both Spurs, and I think Arsenal recently. They're back on.
He's not
back
going
on their
anywhere.
radar.
He's not going anywhere.
I don't foresee it, but rumours are rumours, mate.
Yep, no, I saw those rumours too, but they seem to come around quite a bit with him. So I'm not too worried. I think he spoke very highly of the club recently and how he really enjoyed the end of last season and Unai Emery and just going on with a bit more of that. I could see in this game against Newcastle, just going back to that Emery model, the high line, the possession style, the sort of the flexible midfield and all that sort of stuff, and even the new players that weren't here last season, Noah, they've really bought into that already, like in one match. So compared to like last season when we saw the preseason and we didn't look like we had a plan at all, really, it's really good to see that. Emery is, seems to have his tactics down pat and just everyone seems to be on board.
Yeah, honestly, like you go back 12 months ago, I think we were in Perth, 2 days ago, like 12 months ago, technically. Like, it's just crazy to think how times have changed because that pre-season, we couldn't break down Brisbane Raw, let alone Bournemouth on the opening day. And there's actually some amazing passages of play during that Newcastle game this morning, which I was so impressed with. And even like the young kids, as you said, like, they're only 16, 17, and they're still doing that. And it proves how far they could really go. I do want to touch on Badais because he's a player that debuted under Smith at the back end of the COVID season 2021 season. Yeah. And he had 2 successful loan spells. And it was kind of like a forgotten person because it was all about Carney Chukwuemeka at the time. They debuted in the same game. And I think he's someone that's finally started to develop into his body and could be a big factor if he can hang around or even maybe one more loan spell, who knows. But I'm quite excited to see how he goes. He played like a right wing back kind of right wing role, which is a bit different to what he normally has done. But also one guy that's a bit forgotten who I think is up for a redemption season under Unai Emery is Coutinho. A lot of people aren't talking about Coutinho, and I think he could really fit this system really well. With all the games we have to play, I think he has a massive part to play in this season.
Yeah, and I also think that's maybe one area that we're not that stacked in is the sort of people coming off the left-hand side. We've got, Ramsey, but he's injured at the moment. And then, so it's now, who's it going to be? Coutinho, maybe Duran, maybe, someone like, I don't know, like McGinn or someone up there like that. But, I think he can definitely play minutes. And against, teams in the Europa Conference that maybe will sit back against us, we could definitely use him to open the door and create some chances. Is there anyone else, Tommy, that you're looking forward to seeing? Is there any players that you'd like us to bring in? Is there any rumors that you've heard that you're excited about?
Mbappe.
Jeremy Doku, I think. He looks like a pretty exciting player.
He does.
Why are you laughing, Noah?
I said Mbappe and then everyone laughed, Tommy.
Well, Doku's a little bit more believable, mate.
Yeah, we don't want Mbappe. He'll ruin the dressing room,
Yeah.
We can outbid El Fatouche, whatever they're called. So we'll beat them. Don't stress.
Well, yeah, we had the news.
Maybe not El Shawarma.
We had the news that Juventus got kicked out of European football this season.
I did see that. That meant that I'll take some charity.
Yeah, that meant that we're a seeded team now, so we'll avoid all the big guns if there are any big guns. I don't really know, but they've been replaced by Fiorentina, who made the final last season. So I guess that's a positive in some ways. But we're coming up to we're going to have an early playoff match quite early in the season. So if we get through that, we're through to the group stages. So fingers crossed for that. That'll be very exciting to see, European football at Villa Park again. And, I know a lot of the Big Six supporting fans will say, it's just a Mickey Mouse competition, but, I don't care. We're there to win it.
We're going to win it.
I think we'll win it too.
Also, a bit of a dog. I know it's not Villa related. See, Zaha's on the verge of signing for a Fenerbahce or Galatasaray, I think.
Galatasaray.
How? That's ridiculous.
He was a free agent.
Palace will go down then.
Yeah, they're just. I know that. I mean, that's probably a reason for everyone to pop Eze in their fantasy teams. But anyway, not giving secrets away. But yeah, I mean, Doku would be nice, but I still think a lethal forward. I mean, like a big name. Don't even know who I can recommend, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be nice. I just want someone that instills fear in defenders before they even touch the ball. I still think Chiesa could potentially be on the cards. He could play centre forward. You know, but then I suppose him and Diaby on each side of Watkins isn't bad.
I just think Emery is the right person to make these decisions, and he will make the right one he needs. I think he really likes Ollie Watkins. I honestly think he likes him. And I think he's going to get someone...
Ollie Watkins.
I think he's going to get someone that's going to play backup or just to push him.
I think Jackson would have been a good signing for 30 mil. But then again, it almost erodes why we signed Duran. Duran was an Emery signing, and that's why I'd like to see more of him. I think he's just really raw and unrefined. He could be dangerous.
How many goals did Watkins out of his 15, right? Last season, ever it was. How many did Watkins score under Emery?
13, wasn't it?
A lot, exactly. 13 goals, and he came in November.
Yeah, gotcha.
So an extra 2 months, he could easily be the 20+ goal scorer we need.
I've seen something floating about Big Wes.
Yeah, he was at training, but he's not in America, mate. He's gone.
Right.
The resurgence, mate.
I wish. I feel bad for him,
but I saw with Diaby. Apparently, he was in America coincidentally. So he lived the shirt was announced like a day later, Noah, when we signed him.
Yeah, he's in Washington or wherever we're based.
He's there,
Philadelphia.
I would have flown him there
straight away. He looks rapid. I'm not gonna lie. Like he's actually got a really good brain, and he's very technical. He's not just a fast guy without a brain, right? And he can go 2 feet. Somewhat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, I'd be worried if I was Premier League teams with Leon Bailey potentially coming off the bench 70 minutes into games.
Or if you played like Bailey
fast,
and Diaby.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Diaby's faster than Bailey.
I know, but I'm saying, imagine 70 minutes into a game, everyone's knackered, and you get a fresh Leon Bailey who's still rapid. He's still that quick.
Yeah,
imagine you get to bring him.
I think that's the dangerous part now, right? I don't know if he's going to start or not, but you've got like Tielemans and Bailey potentially being first subs, and these are impactful subs, right? Not just you just come on and do a job, or hopefully it works out. I think now what we're going to see at Villa, at least for this season, maybe I'm hoping onwards, I think it'll be a difference between being a good player like a McGinn, Kamara, Luiz, for example. Everyone's replaceable right now. I think difference between being good and being consistent.
Well, I think over the years since we've been in the Premier League, the level of signings that we've picked up have just gone up a bit. We're not going for huge names, but we're just getting slightly more experienced, slightly better quality players every year. And the three that we've got this year are top quality players.
Yeah. And I think the fact that we had a £50 million, whatever it was, bid rejected for Chiesa shows the ambition of the club, right? We're actually putting our money where our mouth is. Even with Diaby, right? I think we started with 35 and they said, stuff it, just go 50, just pull the trigger.
Well, right? I think that's the Monchi effect as well.
That's right. Monchi and the other guy. What's the other guy's name?
Chris Heck, but he's more on the business side.
Yeah. No, not Heck. It's another guy's name that was instrumental in bringing Diaby. I think he's the number 2 behind Emery.
Oh, what's his name?
Not Monchi.
Not Monchi.
He's like an assistant, is he? Or
yeah, he's the number 2 or whatever.
He won the Champions League with Liverpool.
Oh, the guy I know the guy. He got announced. Yeah, was he from Real Betis or something?
Vallecano or something. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know the guy. I don't know his name though.
Well, we're definitely making some, big signings behind the scenes as well. And
Vidagani, that's his name.
Okay. And he's the one from Betis, right? Real
Something
Betis?
like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think wasn't he the number 2 guy under Emery? So he's a bit of a tactician himself.
Excellent. Well,
so anyway.
We certainly seem like we're giving Emery the keys to the car and saying, we have full support in everything you're doing. Like, keep doing it. And
he earns it. He earned this with the time he had in charge. Emery has earned this trust from the owners and from everyone.
We did say this right mid last season. Again, it's not a messiah call, but I said I think he was being relatively stringent with the budget, saying, "But I want a bigger budget come end of season, right? If I qualify, so now I think he's got the war chest, right." So I don't think we're done spending, to be honest. I think it'll be bolstering maybe the squad, but I still think there's one big name to come in. And I think it'll just be a signing out of nowhere. Not like a Darren Bent on deadline day, but you never know.
Well, I mean, like you start to think who's out there that's available that could be like that impact, signing that we need.
There is a striker that's rumored to be leaving Tottenham Hotspur, but there's no chance of getting him. So imagine we pull up Harry Kane or something.
Well, I mean, we did finish above them, so
Exactly.
We did. We're in Europe; they're not, But I think, Bayern have probably got more pull than us at the moment, but maybe not in a few years' time. And considering this year, there is a really good chance that 5 teams qualify for the Champions League for next season with the restructuring of the Champions League. That's 5th spot. That there's going to be a lot of teams really pushing for that. And if we get in the mix with Emery's experience and the way he's had the time to mold this team now, I think, we're as good a chance as Spurs or Chelsea or any of these teams that finished below us last year. Brighton, who finished above us, we could definitely finish, 1 or 2 places higher and maybe sneak in. So
I agree.
It's exciting times, really exciting times. We've got Fulham coming up in a couple of days in the next leg of our preseason tour, and it's going to be interesting to see again who comes into that team. I think we'll see a few more of the guys that were on the international players maybe starting, like Tillemans and the guys that came off the bench. We might see some more kids. There's going to be plenty of changes. These games always, seem to have like 10 subs at half an hour or an hour gone. So, it's going to be really interesting to see how we go in that game, because that'll be quite a different game, I would say, to the Newcastle game. We'll probably have a bit more of the ball, a bit more, it'll be.
Oh, what's it? Oh, sorry, go on, Scottie.
I was just saying that they'll probably sit in a bit more than Newcastle, because that game was a bit of a shootout this morning.
They all have been, though. They all have been. All the games in the Summer League have been shootouts. Kind of like England's cricket, Scott, just very entertaining.
Very entertaining, but not getting the win.
I was a little bit worried with the high line getting exposed a few times. Right, and so I'm hoping other teams don't somewhat use this as a blueprint to replicate. I mean, we probably had the most offside trap, sprung the offside trap the most last season. So I think other teams would be onto it. Need to be a lot more vigilant. Look, I'm seeing Torres getting a lot of hate. I thought it was relatively solid, and it's just hasn't got acclimated. La Liga is somewhat slow. I mean, Moreno took a couple games to fire up, so that's kind of what I'm comparing Torres to right now.
Yeah, he's not as slated as Kai Havertz after the skills test. Did you see that?
You see Rooney? Even a 40-whatever-year-old Rooney can do it first go.
I know. I was just like, are you serious? Like,
so funny.
You can't control the ball in your thigh. Like, okay, but
to be fair, I can't.
I'm not
a professional footballer.
No, I've never scored a goal in a Champions League final either, so he has. So that's but it was surprising, and I think a lot of players, just aren't physically ready yet. You've got to get the rust out. You've got to get your body up to, speed and up to a level where you're not worried about getting injured and this sort of thing.
And I really think he's in probably a little bit more cruise control than normal. The guy just got back from his honeymoon, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Cut him some slack. But again, he was signed with intent. I trust Emery. What I tend to see, though, is we're actually signing who we're linked with. Remember with Gerrard or was it Smith or someone? I mean, it was like we'd always just sign someone out of the blue. Like, where'd this come from?
Yeah, because Smith tried to keep things under wraps. It was always Smith.
I know.
When Danny Ings signed, it was like no links, and then we'd signed Danny Ings.
That's right, out of nowhere. And also, I think West Ham are trying to get rid of him now, right? Or he's trying to get out of West Ham.
I don't know. To be fair, that bloke's had 2 pre-seasons in Australia in 2 years.
I know, and he scored goals in both those pre-seasons.
Yeah, fair play.
I think he's good. I think Jimenez is linked with Fulham. I don't think that would be a bad pickup for them.
Romano said, "Here we go." So that's done. So he might be playing that game.
Mitrovic going to the UAE.
There you go.
Arabia, not UAE. Different.
Saudi Arabia.
He's
going to Al Kebab.
Al Kebab.
Him and the coach.
Yeah. Oh no, he said no. Marco Silva.
No. Silva turned it down this morning. Big bucks.
Anyway.
Interesting. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I will say one thing. I'm not going to lie, right? Now, I know your lifestyle changes when you make that kind of money, and then everyone's like, yeah, but you would. I'm like, well, hang on. If I got 4 kids and I'm on 100K a year and I'm being offered 200K, that makes a material difference on my life, right?
Huge.
But if I'm on 5 million and I get offered 10, right, and people playing the same card, I'm like, yeah, I know you can buy your design, all that, but how's like 50K a week clear not enough to live? That's what I don't get.
The thing is, like, you don't have, like, these players all have their wives and their family all in their ears.
They've got their posse, and you got to pay for your mates and stuff. I get it. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, if I'm Jordan Henderson, I'm taking the 700K every single time. I don't care that I'm Liverpool's captain. I'm 32. I'm coming to the end of my career.
How much do you need to make, mate? Is what I'm saying, right? You're telling me you don't get more value out of going to help a club and maybe being a good mentor to some of these youngsters that need a good veteran.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Ruben Neves and he's 27, 26,
even Mahrez. I think Mahrez.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say prime. Maybe he's a big pass, but I think he's still got a good 3-4 years in the Prem. I think a lot of teams could have done with the likes of him. I think Palace could have done with someone like him, and they probably.
I would take a Mahrez for Villa for sure.
The thing that you're not taking into account, Tommy, is that no one in that family will ever have to work again in their like their grandkids won't have to work.
The fact he's won everything.
Be disciplined with your money. Long story.
And Mahrez just won the treble. Like
the whole generation will never have to work again. Pretty much.
Yeah, but also, I mean, look, I get it. But what type of competition what type of competition are you going to be playing? It's going to be somewhat Mickey Mouse. I mean, some players are being signed there now. I get it. There's a big push.
It's like the Chinese Super League all those years ago. Give it a couple of years, it will phase out.
Yeah,
I think it's a different level to China.
Look, don't get me wrong. It's different.
But they got a different level of money as well. Like,
that's right. So interesting. What about Marinos, Yokohama, Kevin Muscat against Man City? Gave them somewhat of a run for their money.
I didn't see that game.
I didn't see it. Yeah,
they finished like 5-4 to Man City.
Yeah, I know they were like 2-0 down or something. City. I did see it. I saw the. Yeah, I didn't even know that was Muscat's team.
Yeah, he's coaching Yokohama F Maroons. I think a recommendation by Postecoglou.
It was Postecoglou. That was his team, right?
Before? Yeah, he was there prior to Celtic. Correct. Yeah, and they got big bucks to spend.
All right. Well, we'll start to wrap up, but before we do, I just want to quickly say well done to some of Villa women in the Women's World Cup. Alicia Lehmann came on for Switzerland the other day. Rachel Daly came on for England, had a good header. Unfortunately, not to score. We had another girl, I forgot her name, but she played in the New Zealand match. Huge, big win for them against Norway. Congratulations to all the Villa women.
Get around the Aussies, mate. Get around the Socceroos.
The Aussies, they made it difficult, but they got the win. That was another tight match, a bit tighter than maybe they'd expected. But no, it's like the Women's World Cup over here in Australia is going really well. So we're all pretty happy. So yeah. But Noah, you wanted just to mention our upcoming prediction show.
Yeah. So I think next episode, will be is when we'll do our predictions, and it was suggested to us last year or last season that we should do like a points-based system and go back to at the end of the year and see who wins. So I actually want to get people involved. So stay tuned for next episode, but it'll be like put in the comments your top 4, where Villa finish, your relegation, golden boot, sort of stuff like that. And yeah, just get more people involved.
What's the winner get, Noah? They got my dirty shorts. What are they going to get from you this year? Signed sports bra? Tell them.
Nah, signed sports bra. Signed by Tommy as well. Unfortunately, I don't own any, so I have to go buy one.
Nice. A claret and blue jock strap.
Oh, mate, definitely. I'll personally wear it just for Tommy because he's going to be the one that wins.
I'll sniff it. I've put myself up to some weird challenges this year.
Yeah, I know. We know.
Oh, I don't think that'd get through customs. We wouldn't be able to send it to anyone. With the smell coming out of your jock strap.
Mate, if we can get boogie boards full of cocaine past, I'm sure we can get a jock strap, Scottie.
Well, that's a very Australian joke. I'm sure all our UK listeners will
have no idea. We'll have no idea.
I'm probably about to get sniped after this.
Yeah, I don't think YouTube allow that sort of talk, but we are.
Yeah,
but we're back. We're back, and Tommy hasn't changed.
That's
it. To Twitter, mate. We'll take it to Twitter. Musk, zero censorship.
That's it. It's a wild, wild west out there. So
it's good. It's good to be back, guys. Good to be back. Honestly, great recap.
Yep, guys, it's really good to see you all. Thanks again. And we will be coming at you every week from now on for the rest of the season. So please like and subscribe, tell your friends, hit that bell, and follow us on Spotify as well, where all our shows are up on there. So check them out too. And we will be back next week with more preseason action and transfer news. And we'll see you then. Up the Villa.
Ooh.